Hello. I would like to talk about the spring that has just come. Well, in fact, a few days ago, this is 24th or 5th, 6th, something like that. And the spring has come, and as the Beatles song, Here Comes the Sun, along with this. Spring generally is associated with the sunlight, with the new hopes, great expectations. That reminds me of the book by Charles Dickens, famous novelist, who wrote about great hopes or expectations. The original title is Expectations. So, great expectations that we associate usually with the springtime, or great delusions. It is like with the New Year's resolutions, for example, that in most cases never come true. So, in the story of Pip, at the beginning of his life, he was the blacksmith's apprentice, came from the very poor family, but he came to wealth, social status. Wealth because he had some mysterious benefactor that provided him with the money. Anyway, he was desperate to fulfill his ambitions. He pursued, I think, a happiness as everyone does. But the title's expectations. So, did he find finally his happiness that he was searching for? He was so desperate. Despite his wealth, social position, there was some girl named Estella. Many times we connect our happiness, feeling of happiness, with the other half to complete ourselves. But they say, the thinkers, spiritual leaders, that when we are not completed ourselves, nobody else can complete us. Then, when we get involved in any relationship, we expect somebody else to complete us, and in this way, we put our happiness in somebody else's hands. So we become automatically dependent on other person. So our happiness might not be permanent, might be fleeting, because when the person that we love change their mind and leaves us, dumps us, we are left with the broken heart, unhappy, thinking about committing a suicide even. Our world crumbles, collapses, and along with this our sense of happiness, great expectations, great delusion, perhaps. Every spring, it's something like that. I remember that the original end was not the happy one of the book by Dickens. Stella remarried, but with not Pip. The Pip stays single, but the original ending was replaced by happy one, probably because of readers, publishers, critics' expectations. I don't know, but on the other hand, many did not like the happy end. It didn't sound authentic, true. Anyway, when I come to think about myself and spring, I found some kind of regularity that in fact every year in May, the middle of spring, May, which is the so-called month of love, I don't feel much good. I didn't know why. Now I think that perhaps I know. It is about astrology, might be, because I am born Aquarius, and that phase of Aquarius is in square to Taurus phase that is mostly in May. Taurus is the earth element, and Aquarius, paradoxically not water element, not water. This is the air element. So they are not certainly relative elements. The earth, down to earth, personality, and the air that needs space, freedom, liberty. There's some contradiction in a way. The different feeling comes with the Gemini phase in June, but Gemini is the air element, so it is in trine to Aquarius, the harmonic constellation, connection. I don't remember if I've ever fallen in love in May, the month of love. Never. On the other hand, in November, some say the worst month of the year, late autumn, gloomy time, dark, rainy, windy, chilly. Yeah. Then, in November, I fell in love at least twice. At least, yeah. Strange enough. So perhaps it doesn't matter if that is in the autumn, late autumn, or May, month of love, when everything is in bloom, yeah? Colorful, yeah? Fresh green, and the air, yeah? The scent of flowers in the air. No doubts about that, yeah, sure. But for some reason, it never happened to me. So, what that fuss is about the springtime? Perhaps this is about the discussion about the time itself. What is the time? To start with, there are many adjectives describing time. It can be happy time, good time, bad time, unhappy time, hard time, tough time. Time can go slow, too slow, fast or too fast. Sometimes time is flying, as some say. So it goes too fast for some. Sometimes it goes too slow, especially when we have the rough time in our life and we cannot wait for the dark night of the soul to be over. So we want to push the time, to rush the time. But it doesn't work this way, I am afraid. And we cannot do anything about the time. We cannot stop our getting old, for example. We do not probably decide about the time of our passing away, of our birth as well. Some are delusions, of course, to make their life longer. Well, they can try. So, time is fleeting, but is there really question of time? Because Einstein said that time is relative. In some places in the universe it goes faster, in some other slower. So we might conclude as well that perhaps there are some places in the universe, in space, when the time is constant. Constant. Or there is no time. Perhaps time is our human concept, only created by our erratic mind, which is silly, by the way. Of course, it's not silly when we use our mind as a tool for everyday life routine, but when it comes to our emotional constructions of any kind, our hopes, this is the master. Mind is the master of our delusions, of our imaginations. Imagination that goes far beyond common sense. And we can get lost in the end because of our mind. So, are there any places in the universe when time can stop for a while? We can have another story by Lewis Carroll, Alice in Wonderland. The one chapter is titled Mad Tea Party. The characters are, of course, the main character of the book, Alice. And at the table, because there is a table with the tea set, some plates, cups and so on, March Hare, Hatter, Mad Hatter, very eccentric figure, and between them, the kind of gopher, but it was some sort of mouse. I don't remember exactly, but this particular character In this book was a kind of a gopher, the sleepy chap, and he's sitting between March Hare and Hatter. And sometimes he wakes up and then he falls asleep again. But anyway, what is the point of this chapter? That the time gets stops. It's a grinding halt. It doesn't go ahead. So there's the permanent constant time, hour, 6 p.m. probably in the afternoon. And Alice in Wonderland wonders and asks them why the time is not going by, the time stopped. The Hatter or don't remember it. I read the book in the primary school. Said that the Hatter or that March Hare argued with time, quarreled with time. Yeah? Probably the reason was that one of them was trying to fixing the watch that broke with the knife, kitchen knife, and that kitchen knife was used for butter, for smearing butter on the slice of bread. It didn't work. Anyway, kind of absurd story, of course, but perhaps with some deeper sense, deeper bottom. What if we cannot accept the time passing slower, faster, or when sometimes we feel irrationally, but anyway, we sense that time stops, and we, along with it, we are stuck in time. We would like to go ahead further, but we cannot. The same motive, let's say, it's in the movie Hollywood production, the Groundhog Day. This is the kind of a creature, kind of a rodent who wakes up in the springtime, and for Americans probably this is the clear sign that the spring has already come. It is the story about some journalist, weatherman, self-centered guy, egoistic, and who cares only about himself. He goes to some small town in American countryside, province, and to report from this the traditional Groundhog Day, when the local community welcomes the spring. Yeah? But to his surprise, he wakes in the hotel room in the morning, the very next day, seeing that he has to relive the same day, and the next day it repeats. He relives every day, the same day, by the way, over and over again. So he also gets stuck. Of course, this is something about what we can change or we cannot, because this is the discussion about if our life is ruled by destiny. So we determined that we cannot do much about our destiny, or we can do something about changing our destiny, that we can architect in some ways our destiny, our fortune. This is the philosophical question, or this is the question about our fate. So religion, philosophy, I don't think that we should think much about that. I think that we should do what we think that is good. Thinking about that makes no sense because we will come to the dead end anyway. So, at least in our present life. But the frequent question is that people ask, they generally wish to live longer. But whenever I talk to people and ask, so, okay, how long would you like to live? 100 is too short lifespan for you. So how long? No, I don't know, they answer. So I suggest 1,000 years. Oh, 1,000? So long? Well, you see, 1,000. It sounds too long. Seems too long. Yeah? Okay, so I reduced a bit this period, make it more acceptable. Well, let's make it half, 500. Oh, well, 500, yeah, you say? Okay, 500. Why not? 500, yeah. It could be all right. Yeah. I could achieve all my goals, probably. I would have enough time to do that. Well, I asked them, but what about the war on the way? Or wars even. There could be several wars in the timeline of 500 years. As we know the nature of mankind, there could be several wars, world wars, the third, the fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on and so on. Oh, well, perhaps it wouldn't be so that bad. Yeah. I'm not so sure. Now we've got another war, which is quite as cruel, but its atrocities, murders, rapes, genocide, everything. Small kids abducted and taken from their homeland, from their families, from their mothers. So why we should expect the peaceful world in 500 times the time? Yeah? Why? Okay, well, when I ask if you would like to be immortal, yeah? So live forever. Oh, no, certainly not. No. But why? Well, I don't know, but it looks so definite, and that you have no way out. But no way out from what? Well, because there's no escape from life when you are immortal. Probably yes. Let's come back to the springtime. Is it really so good time, and that we can be so sure of the happy sunny time, waiting for the sun, as another song, the Beatles, Here Comes the Sun, and I say it's all right, darling. It's been a long and cold winter. The doors sank, on the other hand, waiting for the sun, waiting. We should constantly wait. We should wait for the better time to come. We chase some good time, yeah? And spring comes, and many elderly people feel bad and even die, according to statistics. There are more people, elderly people, that die at the beginning of the springtime. Paradox, yeah? Jesus Christ was crucified in the springtime on Good Friday. Good. I was thinking, why good? Why it's called good? Certainly it wasn't the best time of his life. Of course, they say that he rose from the dead. Oh, the good news, yeah? The resurrection. Great. But there are as many people who believe in that and as many who doubt it. So, who knows? But I think that no need to know. No need. This is not the point. If Jesus was the God's son or wasn't, or was just common, normal human being as we are, does it matter who Jesus was? If he existed or didn't exist? What is the point about Jesus and some other messiahs and prophets, and to prove if Jesus existed or not existed? I'm not so sure if happiness has anything to do with the time, with the springtime. Happiness does not come with spring, doesn't have to come with the spring. Spring is something else to me. Spring is not. It doesn't happen once a year. Spring is deep inside us, in our souls. But sometimes we don't know about that. As another song goes, by, I don't know, In Excess, or some, In Excess. Because we all have wings, but some of us don't know why. All we have wings, but some of us don't know why. We all have already happiness inside us, but we haven't found it yet. Let's ourselves see this, and not wait for the spring to come, because it's been always there and it always will. Happiness. And it doesn't have anything to do with the spring, with other half, with our greatest love of our life. When we are not happy now, we will never be. Nothing else is needed, just to see that we don't need anything else to be happy, because there it is, in us, nothing else, nowhere else, nowhere else. Anyway, happy springtime, sunny, carefree time, and perhaps love to come. Why not? But we should not seek desperately for love. Yeah, love is all around us. Another song. Yeah. So I wish you happy spring. Take care and so long.